Okay, yesterday we learned how to do vectors in two-dimensional. Today we're going to do vectors in three-dimensional. The only difference basically is the new thing. This stays the same for naming it. This stays the same. We add the letter Z for naming it. And the magnitude, to find the distance, this stays the same, this stays the same, but now we added Z onto the end. Make sure you put a plus sign in between. And then there's something new, it's called the sum of a unit vector. Once you name the vector, let's say you just name the vector 3, 5, -4. After you name the vector, they're just showing you that this is another way to write the name of a vector. They use an I, a J, and a K. That's different. If you take this class in college, they use I, J, and K a lot in college. So, okay, let's just do some examples on the next section. Okay, here we are. Yesterday I did 2 examples. Today I'm only going to do 1 example because I don't think you really need 2 examples. So let's name the vector first of all. When you name the vector, remember that this is x1 and this is x2. So you're going to take the 0 and you take away a -1. It's x2 minus x1. And 0 minus a -1 is 1. -2 minus 4, -6. 4, -2, +6. Okay, that's done. Next step, we're going to find the magnitude or the distance. Yesterday, all you did was basically take this right here and square it and add it. Take this and square it and add it to this one squared. And you're going to get 1 plus 36 plus 36, which is equal to the square root. 36 and 36 is 72, and 72 and 1 is 73. The square root of 73 cannot be reduced, so that would be the answer for the test in the book or whatever. So I showed you how to name the vector. I showed you how to find the magnitude of the vector on this page. Next page. They tell you that the name of vector u is 3, -2, 5. Vector v is a -2, -4, and 6. And they want you to find 2u minus 3v. I like showing my work. I like showing my new vector minus my new vector so I don't make a mistake on this test that's coming up that hopefully is going to go very well for a lot of you. You have to take everything in u and multiply it by 2. So I'm going to get 6, -4, and 10. I'm going to take everything in v and multiply it by 3. And I'm going to get a -6, -12, and 18. There's a minus sign in between. So I'm just going to put these two together to get my final answer. 6 minus a -6 ends up being 6 plus 6, which is 12. A -4 minus a -12 ends up being a -4 plus 12, which is 8. And 10 minus 18 is a -8. Final answer. One more of these, and then the last section, and we're pretty much done with notes today. Take everything in u and multiply it by 4, and everything in v, and take half of it. Everything in u multiplied by 4 is going to be 12, -8, and 20. Half of everything in v is going to give you a -1, a -2, and 3. If I'm going too fast, you can always pause it to check to see if my numbers are right. Now all I'm going to do is add these two together for my final answer. 12 and -1 makes 11. -8, -2, -10, 20 and 3, 23. And that's it. Okay, last page. There isn't much to it. You just kind of understand the directions to this. The first thing they're going to do is, the first thing you do is you have to name your vector, just like we did on the second screen. The first thing we learned, how to name the vector. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to name the vector. And how do we name the vector? You take the second one, which is this one, minus the first one, which is this one. And 3 take away 5 is a -2. And you keep going, and you name your vector. You do the y's now. 5 take away 3 is 2. -2 minus a -1 is a -1. So that's your first step. You should name the vector. Now after you name your vector, the last thing they want you to do is show you that these two are exactly the same thing. A -2i plus 2j minus k. So that's all they want you to do. The assignment is on page 503. 15 through 18, I think, is the section called naming the vector and finding the magnitude of the vector. I think 23, 20, and those, I think, are those middle U's and B's. And then this 29 through 31, you still have to name the vector, and then after you name the vector, you do I, J, and K. And that's it for the note.